does your writing serve your community? So your purpose is really important. So you know your purpose, you know what direction you want to go, right? The other thing you just did is you just outlined your audience. This is your community. Okay, so always have that in mind, your purpose and your audience. And generally, these are the things that content marketing does. It informs, inspire, engage, entertain. But at the end of the day, you're going to help the community grow. And good writing is not the end goal, even though you're passionate. After you write a piece, that it doesn't really end there. What happens after you hit publish? And content marketing is about that. You don't just hit publish. You need to distribute, right? Distribute social media, etc. A lot of people are familiar with pushing content, which is social media. We push things out. The process in here, the next process that I want to highlight here is pull, right? You can actually pull people to your content. And this is what happens ideally. So you see in the middle, there's the writing, right? It's kind of like your core writing or your website. You will push it to email, right? Or you can push it out on social media. You form a community. That's on the very end. It's another thing that can happen where you can draw people in, and this is called SEO, Search Engine Optimisation. So this is traffic that happens while you're sleeping. So imagine, right? Rafi, you finish writing your article, you push it out already, you go to sleep. Someone still searches for your article and still is inspired. So this is part of a larger universe, that you need to build for your content. Is because we are familiar with social media, but we forget that everything starts with a search, right? You want to find out what the SOPs are to go cinema, right? You search SOP cinema 2021 or whatever. So it all starts there. Malaysian tak banyak in Malay also, so it'd be good to start building up informational content. For example, who is the artist of Kampung Boy? So I mean, stuff like this, people are curious, people want to find out. So also do a lot of informational content. You can do critical stuff, but you can also do informational content. Content helps customers along the journey. And this is very similar to like when you buy something on Shopee, right? Research, add to cart, buy, and then you get the stuff, gets delivered to you. You're like, this Shopee store is this seller is excellent. I'll always go back to buy my sambal. Who bought sambal during pandemic, or buy like a mosquito racket. I just recently bought one because got a lot of mosquitoes. I have to kill mosquitoes. I also always go back. So that is the role. The audience is not dumb. Why is the audience not dumb? Audience is not dumb because people always say, "Ayo, dia tak faham lah." I talk about all this. Say, "Yeah, they memang tak faham lah. They don't really get me." So what happens when you encounter people who say that, or you have these questions in your head also? You write this great piece, nobody understands what it's about. The question you should ask yourself is, do I not understand them, or they don't understand me, right? And they are not dumb because they just have a different frame of reference, right? People talk about, we want to talk about anime, for example, right? People call it cartoon, so a different point of reference. They don't really see it as anime. People, you like to read graphic novels, people don't really say graphic novels. They say, dia tu kan, dia selalu tengok cartoon. So different point of reference talking about the same thing. So what shall we then do, right? We need to go big, right? Go big. And what I mean by going big is to give them context. So while I was working at Dixie, a short film platform, I tried to deconstruct a way or a process for us to do marketing a little bit more efficiently. So in our database, we have 4,000 short films. We have to watch all of them and try and think of a way to activate both the audience and also creators. So at the it's like an onion, right? At the very top is like a film, the product. There's, of course, the story and narrative, the message and values, and then there's craft and the creator. At the end of the day, for the community that we were building, it's always good if people understand the creator. The creator needs visibility, right? But for the general public, they don't really care about indie filmmakers. But what they engage it with is the story or the narrative. So you tie two together, you kind of like frame it. You ask some questions about the product. Is the product accessible? Some people like to just watch horror as a genre, so you just market to them that here's another horror film you should watch, right? Then you can also talk about the story, the narrative, or the message or values. For short films, a lot of people find some common values, like they believe in family, they believe in love. So you market that. And then after that, when you try and use that approach to get them in, then after that they get involved with the actual content itself. For the creator community that we're trying to do, I realized that a lot of people don't know who these creators are. We try to build communities in Indonesia, Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore, I think also Taiwan, and Taiwan a little bit also. And we realized that we need to highlight two things, right? Craft and credibility, especially if they are very indie, all these grassroots sort of audiences. We need to try and highlight them by doing more interviews, talk about the craft. So number one, arts writers should know this. Basically, all writers, especially if you're writing online, and media platform owners should apply it so that your site is searchable, right? You have some relevance to search results. I don't need to tell you about the importance of search, because we all start our journey with Google, right? Google search. But if you're writing for a platform, you need to align your search keywords with what the brand or the platform is about. So if you eventually become a writer, sometimes you'll be asked to also research your own keywords and edit your own article. Sometimes you won't be, sometimes there'll be a sub-editor. As I mentioned, if you optimize your article, your website for SEO, while you sleep, there will still be people reading your articles about some coverage or some personality. You want to research something about Yusof Gadar, click Yusof Gadar, right? And this is basically how SEO works for the robot and for the people, right? The robot looks for unique content, relevant keywords, descriptive HTML, working URLs, just some rough basics. And robots, they follow structure. You have to structure your information properly. And what do people look for? People look for compelling content, creative, yet easy to use website. So part of SEO is some parts are quite technical also. So if you want to start your own community, get someone to sort of optimize it for SEO. Trustworthy websites and quick load times. I guess this is kind of like a given lah, yeah. Authority, trust, and relevance. So authority is topic and expertise. Trust is, and do I trust that Shufitri is authority? Trust that you are good at what you do generally. Relevance is tying the two together. And where a Shufitri is expert in a certain field, and I trust his reviews, for example. So generally speaking, what are structures when you do on-page SEO? When you have your WordPress open, you're trying to structure your content. Nobody really likes reading a wall of text. Some people can. Generally, people cannot lah, right? Because it's a screen, etc., etc. So in here on the right, you have a title, right? You need to have a unique title with a keyword that is relevant. The meta description is what they see downstairs. You need to have a URL with some of those keywords. It just works better for the engines. You need to have an image, generally two subheadings, so two big headings. Your body needs to be long enough. You should, if you want, you can use a quote. Highlight key ideas, and if you can, use a list and always try and link out, for example. Yeah, so these are some quick ones. Sounds very complex, sounds like a lot of things to do, right? Grace, how do I do this? Good news for you. The good news here is there are plugins, free plugins out there on whatever platform that you are using. They can do it for you for free. So this is a quick extract from a screen grab from another WordPress page. So in here on the right is this plugin called Rank Math. You can put in all the recommendations. Right? If you have not met the recommendations, it will be orange or red, right? But if you have, you get a high score. So it's kind of like a game. Just need to follow the recommendations. But the core of it is your content. Your content has to be relevant. Okay? You really have to write your key content. The key content has to be not written for engines. You have to write it for people. But if you want it to be searchable, you structure it in a way that makes sense for engines to find it. I'm against writing for engines lah, yeah. But when you choose a digital platform, you just somehow need to conform by some structures so that it's easily searchable. And why headlines are important? 8 out of 10 people will read a headline, but only 2 out of 10 will actually click it. So it's really, at this layer, it's really about marketing.